Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone doing? I am barely awake and I felt called to come on here and do a very quick collective reading. I already pulled some cards and I just wanted this to be a brief touch point. So let's see where we go. We have truth, fertility, reconciliation, and life purpose and dreams came out in reverse. Also in the shadow position, we have career in reverse. Some of you will not be moving forward with your job, career, or industry. Some of you are, something is going to sneak up on you out of the shadows into the light regarding your career. Something, maybe a new passion, maybe you will be called to something that you thought you would never do. There's something about career that is out of your consciousness right now. So just approach every day with curiosity and sorry, something took my breath away right there. And make sure you are focused on maintaining your frequency. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care how you do it or any of that. What I care about is your energetic imprint on the collective. So your only job is to babysit your frequency and to feel how it feels to move through that world, through our world in this new frequency. Can you hear how tired I am? Forgive me. But I just felt really called to just do a little quickie. All right. Pay attention to your dreams. Something is going to unlock. A missing puzzle piece is going to come through dream space. You can keep a little pad and paper. Everyone always says this, but when I'm waking up, the last thing I want to do is write. It wakes me up too much and takes me out of my dream. So what I do, when you wake up and you're sort of in that place between sleep and awake, where you could kind of close your eyes and still be back in the dream, before you fully wake up, ask yourself this question: what was the overall feeling of the dream? Not how do you feel now after you've woken from the dream, but in the dream, how did you feel as a character in the dream? What was the overall feeling? Usually that is a great starting point to help start just training your brain to remember your dreams, because it is something you can train yourself to do. I've met so many people who say, "Oh, I never dream." Well, they probably just don't remember them, but there is a way to train the brain to start remembering. Now, if you're like me and you remember everything, or usually everything, what I do is I open up my phone, but I try not to look at my phone very much because all that blue light kind of wakes us up a little too fast. I open up a text message and I voice note with my eyes closed. I voice note my entire dream to myself so I can go back and revisit it later. That's another kind of easier way to do it as well. You could also, I voice text my dream, but you could voice note your dream and just record your voice talking if that's easier. I like to voice text it because then I copy and paste it into like a document and then I journal about it, which is easier for me. Okay, moving on. Truth, fertility, and reconciliation. All right, a lot of what's coming out of the collective, we are birthing truth, or rather truth is being birthed right now. It's like an actual child being birthed. At some point in time, you can't ignore the child. Maybe during the gestation, you could ignore the responsibility of, something, or elude sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for the word shirk responsibility. But when that child comes, there's a human life that needs to be cared for. I'm really struggling with this reading. I'm wondering why it's so choppy. Yes, I will own that I'm very tired and it's early, but there's something else here. Oh, okay. Thank you, Spirit. Ooh, some of you are birthing a truth that you haven't been ready to look at yet, or to accept. And it's being birthed whether you're ready or not. And this truth will either help you reconcile with a person, place, or thing, or it's going to help you reconcile with self. I'm very drawn to this reconciliation here, and these two figures are mirroring one another. I have a feeling that for the majority of you, for some reason, I'm getting 76% of you. This is so weird when I get percents. I think it's hysterical. For 76% of you, this truth is going to help you stand up for yourself, help you excavate your soul's deepest alignment. This might be the cause of, or be the impetus for ending a relationship or starting a relationship or quitting that job or moving to that new place. All of this truth being birthed is going to initiate this massive cascade effect in your life. I need to get more. Where do we want to go, Spirit? Where should we go? All right, thank you. Sorry, I'm struggling to get my cards out. I guess that deck did not want to be used. All right, Spirit, what is this truth about? What do we need to know about this truth? What is this truth about? Your creativity, your solar plexus. I mean, it's not an accident. When we feel confident in ourselves, right? Your solar plexus is about confidence. It's about personal power. It's about your ability to share yourself with the world confidently. When we could do that, we have greater access to our truth, right? Or we feel more comfortable communicating that truth. Healing in reverse, spirituality in reverse. Okay, crown chakra, throat chakra. We're healing the throat chakra. We're still getting that manifestation in reverse. A lot of reversals. What's that about? Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Okay, and then we have karmic completion. Yeah, I had a hunch with this message earlier. Whatever this truth is forcing you to look in the mirror and take radical accountability for what's showing up on your side of the street. This includes closing and completing honorably, consciously, any relationships that are no longer serving you, to actually take the plunge and close these karmic cycles. This time-wise also, this makes sense, because we had that lunar eclipse, full moon in Pisces portal, right? And then we've had all these retrogrades, and now we're going to have a new moon. And there's something being buttoned up with this new moon. I've been feeling it all week. There's something literally being zipped up and closed. Something, I don't know, we're gonna get some closure on something, but we have to sort of like birth our truth out into the world. We're no longer able to push it down. We're no longer able to ignore it. All right. Thank you. Yeah, change in reverse. So many reversals. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? What else is being birthed right now? What else is being birthed? Thank you. New beginnings. Beautiful. Makes sense. Change came in reverse and new beginnings came out, and self-discipline in reverse. Okay. Some of you really have to do some work right now. Some of you really need to do work to let go and surrender, to stop holding on to whatever your old life was, because let me say it directly. You're going to have discipline with financial matters, with your feelings of safety and stability. You're going to have to babysit any sort of fear or doubt or limiting beliefs that enters your physical vessel in order to bring about this change. Thank you, Spirit. What's in the unconscious position is intuition in reverse. So, oh God, why is this so complex? You know, some readings, I look at a message or I intuit messages and it's so clear. It's very linear. Sometimes even it's a spiral, and that's fine too. But very irregularly, there's a message that comes out like a kaleidoscope. And that's what this message is. There's a lot of moving parts to this. You know, when you move a kaleidoscope when you're a kid and you spin it, and when you spin it, everything is affected, right? The whole visual, all the sort of geometry and geometric shapes, they're all spinning and shifting and moving at the same time, or everything's stagnant and still. There's no in between. There's no like one part or one triangle is moving. No, everything is moving. Everything fractals out. 22 card. Yeah, your stability is reliant upon something in your unconscious. And I know that probably doesn't sound very comforting, but it's also just what's here. There's something in your unconscious that is... Have some of you been really shutting down your intuition and your voice? I mean, it makes sense that, you know, this whole message is rooted in you excavating your truth. Remember, this is a collective reading. We're collectively birthing truth. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's why there's so much upheaval everywhere, politically, financially. I need more. Spirit, I need more. Let's see. Okay, thank you. What else is blocking this truth? What else is blocking this intuition? Anything you want to share with us? I need to stand up, excuse me. Whew. This energy feels very gritty. Like if you're ever at the beach and putting suntan lotion and sand gets in it, that's how it feels. What else is blocking the collective right now? Thank you. Finally. We have passion. We have new love. And we have Cinderella. Very interesting. When you think about Cinderella as an archetype, you know, Cinderella sort of tried to do what was best all the time. She let her evil stepmom and evil stepsisters sort of run the show. She was sort of their slave, right? She slept by the fires. That's why she had cinders on her cheeks. That's how she got her name. And long story short, she really didn't know her worth until sorry, I'm distracted by this narrative. She didn't really stick up for herself. She didn't really own her truth until she had a little bit more life force on her side, through her connection with her fairy godmother, through her connection with the prince. You know, she got a little power through this supportive network here. Part of what's blocking your truth is also those of you who are not honoring your passion. You know, maybe you're like a lawyer, you're 9 to 5, or lawyers work way more hours than 9 to 5, but you know, maybe like by day you're an accountant and really your passion is pottery or something. You're meant to go after this passion. And what I'm going to invite you to do, collective, is to start thinking about your life in terms of energy. Is this giving me energy, or is this draining my energy? Just start tuning your internal compass to that sort of, start calibrating using that sort of metric. And I have a feeling you'll start gaining the pulse. You'll start feeling kind of your true north of what ignites your soul and what drains your soul. I mean, for a very small part of you, maybe this new love is a person, maybe it's an actual, but it doesn't feel very much like that. To be honest, the fact that new love came out with Cinderella is telling me that this is new love of self, new self-esteem, new self-confidence. What's in the unconscious? Did I look? Sacrifice. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Some of you have been sacrificing your passions. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Weird reading. I think I'm going to leave it there. Let's get one other spiritual guidance message really quick. Spirit, what would you like to leave the collective with? What would you like to leave the collective with? Again, this felt like a gritty, grainy, sand in the suntan lotion kind of reading. All right, we have embraced the moment. Embrace this day, this very moment. Think positively today and repel those negative thoughts. Try not to judge yourself or others. This may be harder than you think. What is actually happening is that you're changing your energy. You know, it's one thing to read all the books, to go to all the classes, to go to all the retreats, to get all the certifications. It's a completely different thing to go on the hero's journey of integration. Integration means we are coming into intimate relationship with this new fill in the blank, this new experience, these new ideas. And it's a death and rebirth process. And so something has to die to make space for this new version of self to come forward. And integration is the hard part. After that integration comes embodiment. Now, integration could last minutes, it could last decades. That is not up to me. That is up to you and how willing you are to surrender the old self, to allow these parts of self to die. I'd like to get one more, please, Spirit, or as many as you want to share with us. Yeah, this is surrender and allow. Surrender and allow. Thank you. Hold on. We're dropping all these cards. All right. We have relationships and just ask. Oops, I'm making a mess. We have relationships. Relationships are just mirror images of your own life. How you feel and treat yourself, as well as how you react and respond to different situations and people around you. Be aware that every relationship is an opportunity for soul growth. Under here somewhere, we have this karmic completion. It makes sense to me that once you start looking in the mirror, right? She's holding this truth card. She's holding a mirror. Once you start looking in the mirror and seeing the reflection clearly, right? You look at your relationship and it's mirroring back to you your reflection. You look at your job and it's mirroring back to you your reflection. Everything in the world is about you. And it's funny because Carl Jung has this great quote. I'm going to botch it, but the point of it is basically like this journey is inherently narcissistic. The spiritual journey, it's narcissistic because we have to put self at the center to do the work that is being required of us to expand and grow and transform. Okay, and then we have just ask. There are many here in the spirit world that can assist you at this time. We are made up of the divine source, your loved ones, friends, guides, angels, and spirit helpers who are waiting to assist you. We are your spiritual team, and all you have to do is ask for our help and guidance. This is really important here. You can pray all you want. You could pray until the cows come home, but unless you actually ask for divine assistance to intervene on your behalf and surrender your will to quantum will, to divine will, it's not going to really make movement. Prayers are really powerful. I don't want to diminish the power of prayers, but in terms, it's like, if you're praying, you want to pray with meat on the bones. You want to have a prayer that is deeply powerful and that will move the needle. So I'm trying to give you an example. Like, dear God, I want $1 million. That's much less powerful than, dear God, what is blocking me from knowing my worth so I can make a living in this world? Boom. That will move the frickin' needle. That is a powerful prayer. So it's really important that we pray with substance, that we take accountability and rise to meet the divine halfway. Okay. Do we want a little Buddha wisdom? I'm just going to pull a random. This is a divine masculine Buddha wisdom. Let's see where we go. When your words are lies, where will your mischief end? Yeah, just again, truth, more truth. The more you avoid your authentic truth, the more chaos will be brought into your life. Why? Because human chaos equals divine order. When you are creating, what's that great line? When you keep your mouth shut to keep the peace, you start a war within yourself. No one wins. No one wins when you keep your mouth shut, when you keep your truth hidden. Okay? I'm going to leave it there. Collective reading. I hope it was supportive, and I will see you in the next one.